Hey everybody, it's David. You did it. You saw that thumbnail, you read that title, you clicked on it, and now here we are together. I am so excited because this is one of my most important videos that I will ever do. It's about achieving financial independence, something that very few people believe that they can do, but most people can. And you are different because you clicked on that and you are going to watch. So today, this video, I'm making it just for you. I want to talk about the 3 things that I think that you must overcome in order to become financially independent like me and maybe have that option to retire early like I did. Those 3 things are pretty simple. We're going to talk about your heart, we're going to talk about your head, and then we're going to talk about your hands. Are you ready to win with money? Are you ready to take the path to financial independence? I think you are. Let's talk about it. Welcome to my channel. We talk about 3 things here. We talk about achieving financial independence, retiring early, and doing your best to live your best life now from the perspective of just a regular person. Hey, that's me. And I'm trying to do all those things. Thank you so much for watching. Well, in the introduction, I talked about 3 things. I talked about the head, the heart, and the hands. I'll get to that in just a second. But let me tell you a little bit about the inspiration for this video. I don't often get into arguments on the internet, because, well, for obvious reasons. But recently, I left a comment about how I believe that anyone could achieve financial independence and anyone could retire early. And I got called out by someone. And I love it when people do that. Please call me out. Give me that BS comment because I want to explain to you. And we got into a bit of a back and forth. And in this back and forth, this person said, there is no way that you were able to retire early as a basic middle class person. You must have been wealthy. You must have been lucky. You must have had a dual income, blah, 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 blah. It kind of went on and on. And with every question, I reacted. And I tried to be very positive. And each time that person came back and pushed back again saying there is no way that you became financially independent without all this criteria the person was putting up. Well, the reality is none of that was true. Did I have a high income? No. I had a decent income because I worked hard to grow in my career. Did I get lucky? Well, maybe yes. There's this old saying that says, it's funny how the harder I work, the luckier I get. So maybe I did get lucky. Did I have negative things that I had to overcome? This person thought perhaps I didn't. Well, yes, I did. I'm a cancer survivor. I've had financial challenges. I've had challenges recently. I'm just a normal person, just like you. But due to some key strategies and things I did over many, many years, I was able to achieve financial independence. And again, I totally believe that you can as well. So here's the crazy thing. The formula for reaching financial independence is quite simple, and that formula is available to anyone. I've written it down here, and this is just my little thing. The first thing is that you have to believe that you can. Second thing, avoid debt. Third thing, save consistently. Fourth thing, minimize your expenses. Fifth thing, live below your means. And then that final thing is over time, grow your income. And the foundation to it, the very first thing on this list is believe you can. I've had these conversations about financial independence with people for many years. And part of it, and part of why that I am an evangelist for it, is that it just seems like it has been so easy. And I made this comment the other day to someone who responded back, well, easy for you, but not for others. And it got me really thinking about why is this so hard? And I go back to the thing is the number one is that people just do not believe. Another saying that I like is whether you believe that you can or you believe that you can't, you are right. So if you right out of the gate do not believe that you can do this, well, then you're going to be right. And if right out of the gate you believe that you can do this, well, over time and with some hard work and some education, you absolutely can. I remember that moment where I decided that, yes, I could do this. I was sitting in my cubicle one day. Gosh, it was more than 20 years ago. I had just passed my 5-year mark of surviving cancer. And I started thinking about my future. And I realized that my future is something that I control. The growing up in a single parent household, the growing up poor, the having a career that was rather challenging, all those things didn't matter. The story of your life is not the chapter that you are in now. There are many other ways to move forward. For many, many years, I have kept books with me. I've talked to people. I've tried so hard to convince people that yes, they can be financially independent. And I've come to the realization recently that a big part of it is that people just think it is so complicated that it's not for them. That they don't have the savvy to go out and buy real estate, maybe do the Bitcoin or all that kind of stuff. But the reality is you do not need any of that. If you are someone that is scared to get started, you can do it in a very simple way. That's pretty much what I did. Many, many years ago, I decided just to invest in simple index funds, to not really get complicated. It's all that I do. I've got videos showing my portfolio if you are interested. But if you are scared of it, if you want to believe, just start simply. The other thing that you can do is find other people like myself and those that are on the internet, here on YouTube, that are sharing their real stories about how they got here. Success leaves clues. Find people that are where you want to be in life in the future and find out how they got there. And just do what they did. It really is that simple. But you will never do it if you do not believe, if you're not able to overcome that initial barrier to get started. And getting started is so very easy. So let's talk about the head part. There is a reason why people don't think they can do this. Maybe they believe, but then they think it is way too complicated. And I'm fascinated by this, and I looked it up, and there's this concept called simplicity bias. And what that means is that our minds are wired to think that solutions have to be complicated. You think about your financial future, you're looking 20, 30 years down the road, or maybe you're looking just to the end of the week, and you think, these solutions are so complicated, I just can't do it. Maybe I'm not smart enough, I don't have the knowledge enough to do it, and it's just too complicated. And the barrier becomes simplicity bias. Because the reality is that most of us can do this if we do things in a very simple way. What if you could be an owner of the 500 best performing companies here in the United States for as little as $50? Would that be something you would be interested in? Well, believe it or not, you can. And that's one of those things that is completely simple. If you want to just get started, here's what I recommend. I'm going to pull up for you the Fidelity 500 Index Fund. This is my core fund. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why just this one fund, if you have no other investments, or maybe you are just getting started, this is the fund or a fund like it that I highly recommend. Let's take a look at it. This is a fund that I actually have. It is my core investment fund. If you're keeping things simple, if you're many years away from retirement or needing this money, this is one of the ways to go. Let's look across. Yes, this year has been bad as far as returns, a down year. And for you, for someone who's starting out, that can be actually a really good thing, something we could talk about later. Let's look at this across the top. Maybe you've never done this before. Average annual returns, 1 year, 8.24, 3 years, 9.05, 5 years, look at that, 18.56, and then look at the 10-year mark. Keep in mind, this is as end of March, so when we get to the end of April, these numbers are going to change a little bit. The key thing that I really want you to notice down there is the expense ratio at 0.015%. So very inexpensive to have this fund. And then the greatest thing, look at the amount it costs to invest, minimum to invest, $0. So if you wanted to get started learning about simple index investing, a fund like this is one of the greatest ways to do it. $50, you could be started. You can do this in a Roth IRA, you can do it in a taxable account. Regardless, you can get started on something like this as early as today. Isn't that just fantastic? Why not? Why not put in $50 and just get started? The key with these index funds is putting in money over a very long period of time and just ignoring it. Just allow it to grow. Ignore those times like this year, 2025, when there are crashes and there are ups and downs. That doesn't matter to you. You are not going to access this money or use it for many, many years. And if you do, if you set it up automatically where you are putting money into an account like this, let's look what could possibly happen. So in this scenario, someone starts out with $1,000 and they're putting $1,000 a month into a fund just like this. Now, I know numbers can be intimidating. Maybe you're starting out with $50. But think about it. Over time, your income is going to grow. You're going to take care of expenses. You're going to eliminate debt. You're going to do a bunch of the things we're going to talk about in a minute. And eventually, you're going to get to a point where you are going to be able to add more and more money to this fund or whatever fund that you're putting money into. And you're going to experience this thing, the wonder of the world, compounding interest. So let's look at this chart. Now, in this particular scenario, someone put in $1,000 a month for 20 years. Let's look at that future value, $593,947. Contributions, $241,000. Total growth, that's the amazing part, $352,947. The difficult part are those duckbill times. You know how a duck, it opens up like this? Well, look at that chart. It's looking like that as well. Those first 5 and 10 years, you're really not going to see those big numbers that you're going to go have that wow moment. What you have to do, go back to the heart, is you have to believe that over time, you're going to see this return that you're seeing on a chart like I showed you a moment ago. Those first 5, 10 years, I'm telling you what, they are hard. But once you see the magic moment when your net worth reaches zero, where suddenly you have more in your investments than you have in debt and those type of things, and you are growing beyond zero, it is one of the most exciting feelings you will ever have in your life. And you, again, you can do this. Hopefully I've got you believing in your heart. Hopefully I've given you some information that's kind of cracking open the head. And now we got to work on the hands, which is take action. Now, I'm telling you very clearly, I am not a financial advisor. I am not truly a financial expert. I'm a regular guy who has achieved financial independence and retired early. So I'm going to refer you to what I think is one of the best how to become financially independent, retire, all those things models out there today. It is the Financial Order of Operations from the Money Guys. And they have a book that I did a review of a while back. They have a fantastic YouTube show and podcast. I'm going to place a link down in the description. And it's actually a video they released just yesterday, which is great, on this particular topic. But let's look at this. They call this the Financial Order of Operations. There are 9 simple things, and I am not going to go into great detail of these because I'm going to put a link down in the video to these money guys. You're going to rely on some experts to really teach you on these steps. I have no affiliation with them. They don't charge anything to learn these steps. It's just my favorite way, I think, that the average person can simply find their path to financial independence. So let's look at the 9 steps. Cover your deductibles. Get that employer match. Take care of that high interest debt. Make sure you build up those emergency reserves. Invest in that Roth and the HSA. Max out retirement. Then you get the hyper accumulation. Prepay future expense. And then finally take care of that low interest debt. Much of our success in our life is the result of our systems. And I guarantee you, I promise you, if you were to follow the 9 steps here in the Money Guys Financial Order of Operations, over a period of many years, you will become financially independent, just like I have and just like many other people here on this channel have. All right, that's it. That's my message for this week. If you made it all the way to the end now, I just want to tell you how very thankful I am for you. I am especially thankful for all the comments left below and the conversations that take place as a result of them. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being part of my channel, and I look forward to talking with you soon.